Hello, my name is Cassandra Pentaghast. It was requested that I introduce tonight's Dialogue Wheel podcast, as if I am not busy enough already chasing after the Herald of Andraste. Ugh. In any case, enjoy the show. Or don't. Now if you will excuse me, I have things to do.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Dialogue Wheel. I am your host, Chachi Bobase. The Dialogue Wheel is brought to you by Audible.com, where you can go here in a little bit, not right now because you've got plans, and sign up for a free trial. Go to www.audibletrial.com/a dialogue wheel. That is all one word, and you can get a free audiobook and a free 1-month trial. We are joined today by some very esteemed guests. Say hello, Mr. Evan.
Oh, hi.
Hi. And Mr. BioFan.
Ugh. 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 Cassandra, disgusted noise. Ugh.
And as if that isn't enough indicator to you of what our topic is tonight, we're talking about all things Cassandra. Ugh.
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 Ugh. You know what? I hope at some point in the writing of Cassandra, David Gator sat there and was like, you know what? She needs a gimmick, you know, because Alistair has a gimmick. He's got the whole light post thing, or lamppost thing, rather.
Varric has a nickname. Like, Cassandra needs, something to...
She needs something, because we need to get her past bullshit, because she's stuck on bullshit. This is where she is in her life. In her evolution, she's stalled out at bullshit for the fans. And I need to give them something else. I know! A disgusted noise. Like, I hope that was intentional. Because it's fucking brilliant.
I wonder. I do know, I remember when I was playing the game for the first time, she was like, you remember that scene where, Roderick or whatever his name is, arguing with her and stuff after you have gone and done a few things, and she, takes the book and slams it on the table, slams her finger on it. I'm like, she's grown so much from the knife.
Oh, look at her.
She's slamming other things.
She uses her finger instead. This is
She
great.
ain't taking no shit.
She ain't. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I didn't even think of that when she did it. I was just like, there's Cassandra slamming around books. You know?
Just slamming shit all over the place.
Do you think she would be banned from going into the Shaperate? I'm just saying. They would be like, no, get away from her books. You are not allowed. Go.
Oh.
No. It'd be fine. The tables can handle it. They're not wooden like they are here.
They're dwarven built, Chachi. I'm pretty sure the books are extra sturdy as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just paper thin stone, so it'll be fine.
Okay, but think about the hoity-toity stuff in Orlais, though. What if she went to that one dude who sells the tomes?
Did you not take her to Orlais with you?
No, I didn't take her
hates
shopping in Orlais. I just took her that first time when you go and you have the conversation with the cleric and everything. That's the only time I ever took her to Orlais. No, I had to bring Vivi with me when I go to Orlais.
I know, because she's like, oh, dear, how are you?
Oh, darling. It's so much more fun to bring her there than anyone else. So I take her and Varric and Sarah, because that's my Orlais dream team. Sorry, Cass, you gotta stay at home.
My waifu goes everywhere with me.
Aw, that's right, you did a Castmancer. You are a Castmancer.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
I romanced her in my second playthrough.
She is...
Oh my god.
So adorkable.
She is great. And, that scene before the patch where you're in the romance scene and you're awkwardly staring at her breasts for 20 minutes before you realize the game is not moving forward.
That didn't happen to me, but I guess it was long enough.
It was literally my Inquisitor was laying down with her, gets up, and that's it.
I have a dialogue choice to make. Oh, my bad.
I was like,
funny.
No, it was actually an Easter egg for only a select few people, and if you waited the 20 minutes out, at the end she just goes, ugh.
Are you serious? You're making that shit up. That would be great, though, wouldn't it?
Just at the end of the romance scene, just the loudest, disgusted noise. I mean, she might as well, the way that she ended it.
Well,
by the way...
Well, you can still be in a relationship with her if she's the divine. You can still,
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious, too.
I bet it is really funny. You'll be like, Hello.
Well, I'm assuming that you've finished that playthrough, but like, if she is in fact the divine and you are still in a relationship with her, you actually like leave your throne, you go walk towards where she is, and then right away she's just like, "Please, I need to hit something. Take me with you."
It's so cute. She's like,
oh my god.
Yeah, she's like, oh, she'd be a very great. Actually, like all of them are actually not bad choices. I mean,
yeah. In my current playthrough, I'm going to make her the divine because I'm just on my second playthrough, and on my first one, I was procrastinating and didn't realize when that choice actually had to be made, like for realsies. So my divine kind of was a bad choice. The game default divine was not a good thing at all. Okay,
who is the default divine?
At least in my game, it was Vivi. So Vivian is the divine, and she kind of fucked up Thetis quite badly.
Yeah. I would even say like out of the three, Vivian's kind of like the more conservative option versus Liliana's like the super liberal option.
Uh-huh.
And Cassandra's kind of Cass is kind of like a nice little medium in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she has so much more to fall back on when it comes to experiences, you know? Because Liliana is really smart and she's got her time, you know, spent in the Chantry and all that taking consideration. But, you know, Cass being part of the Seekers, I kind of feel, especially after she gets the book and everything and you go through her personal quest, I feel like she could relate to the mages better. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Cassandra could just relate to most people.
Yeah.
For example, she put up with my bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
If she can put up with my Inquisitor for some of the shit that I pulled, then she can deal with being the divine.
That's true. Well, I just mean you know, she finds out that basically, or at least in my opinion, I feel like what she found out is that the Seekers were pretty much a captive group that were being manipulated outside of their knowledge, which is kind of how you could view the mages. You could see them as them being manipulated by the Chantry and by the Templars into just doing their bidding. And the Seekers were kind of the same way, but in a different direction. You know what I mean? So
kind of sicker way.
Yeah, kind of in a much sicker way. Exactly. Well, I mean, if you think about it, either way is sick. Caged birds in either direction. I know, right? Ugh. So I think her having that revelation would affect the way that she would handle things like that. Templars,
I think it actually ended up changing her outlook on a lot of the stuff that was going on. Because before the whole book thing, she was just kind of like, I don't really trust anybody. I don't like all of these groups. Then after that, she was just like, now that I think about it.
Let me consider the world around me instead of falling back on my knowledge.
You know what?
Right?
Sorry, you can go.
Oh, no, I was just saying, right. You're good.
Okay. What I would really like to see, I don't know exactly if this will ever happen, because there's a possibility she's divine, and it may take some time for this to happen, but if Solus ever comes back, and you ever learn, the Inquisitor learns that he actually started this whole thing, I think Cassandra's just gonna beat the living crap out of him.
Yes.
Oh my god, that would be great.
Divine. She will come down with whatever hat she's wearing and slap the shit out of him. Then he'd be like, I just wanted to apologize for all of this, and
disgusted noise.
Hit him upside the head with a book.
If you thought the Varric confrontation was bad, you wait.
Oh god, no.
You wait.
Let's see, that was just a Chantry. This was the world.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about Cassandra and Varric.
Oh, yes.
I think it was great
please?
how, if you bring Varric and Dorian, Cassandra doesn't even need to be there, but if you just have Varric and Dorian, Dorian will ask Varric if him and Cassandra are, and Varric's like, what? No! He's very quick
the only
to
time
deny.
he doesn't respond with something funny.
Yeah. It's really
Right?
funny. I was like, Dorian, that's a good one.
What turns her on more in this world than the words of Varric Tethris?
Apparently, nope. The book.
I would like to thank my Inquisitor, but
In my
I was about to
playthrough-
say, but I'm pretty sure she got more excited over the new book.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Exactly. And in my playthrough, there was no male Inquisitor for her to romance. So literally, the thing in the game that makes her the most hot in the seat would be Varric Tetra's words. Think about it.
I am thinking about a warm seat.
When she confronts him about Hawk. Ooh, damn, girl. Like, you could feel that tension in the air.
Okay, that scene was
beautiful.
I thought somebody was gonna die.
I did not see that coming, by the way.
That table was never the same again.
No.
Right. You know what? I want to ask David Gator one of these days. Maybe we should write this down. Maybe we'll get to interview him at some point in the future. I want to know what he has against tables, because maybe he was projecting. Just saying. Maybe he was projecting.
He does do that in some cases. Like, you know how Shale hates pigeons and, like, all form of, like, bird and fowl?
Yes.
So she hates pigeons because when David Gator was writing Shale, I think he had a different office or something, and right outside of his office, every day, there was these there was always pigeons, like, going at it. Like, outside of his window at any given time.
Like pigeon sex?
Pigeon sex. All day long.
You know what this calls for?
What?
A shale disgusted noise.
Ugh.
Absolutely revolting.
That was beautiful.
But yeah, so he does at least a little projection every now and then.
At least a little bit. Like, fuck pigeons.
You know what? He's about the right age. Maybe when he was a kid, he tried to do the Christmas Story. You know, where the boy goes and licks the lamppost. I'm just saying. Maybe he did that, and he's been holding on to this aggression from his tongue being frozen to the lamppost all these years. And when he wrote Alistair, he was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this into something sexy instead of an embarrassing moment from my childhood. And so he projected that onto Alistair and made it sexy-ish.
That's deep.
It's not really. I know, right? Gator, we got you all figured out. So Gator
That's
has a problem with tables, and he put this on Cass.
We need to ask him about that.
I know. Maybe
What
he
did
makes
tables
disgusting
do to
noises.
you?
I know. What do tables do to you? And books, sir. As the crafter of fine literature, you should respect books more than to allow them to be constantly abused by your characters.
Maybe when he was a kid, he got stuck under a table. Like the legs just collapsed on him. And for the 3 hours that his parents weren't home, he was just like, eh.
Help me. Man, if I was a strong warrior, I could just bust this table instead.
One of these days I'll make characters that are strong.
I love how, when you go to, the ball, the Orlesian ball, like, the guy who's reading out, and he's like, Cassandra, blah, 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 and she's like, disgusted noise, get on with it. Like, going through all, like, the 20 names.
It just sums her up perfectly.
It really does. Right. And I love how Josephine's always like, can we use your influence as, like, you know, like, the 70-something thin line for the throne? She's like, no. And Josephine's like, but I could really get some, you know, no. No.
Or just talking to her at the Orlesian ball in the first place. I love how she is so irritated, you know?
Everybody else has something new to say every time something happens. Whenever you talk to her, she's just like, can we leave?
Right.
Are you sure you don't want to say anything about the whole, you know, such and such? No, let's go. Fine, I'll go talk to Cullen then.
Fine. That's so true.
I thought you loved me.
When all, like, the ladies were hitting on Cullen, I was like, he's mine. Step away.
I'm surprised that the opposite wasn't happening to Cassandra. You know, that she didn't have, like, a cluster of men surrounding her.
Because every time anyone came up, she just disgusted them away.
Go away.
It's just like, hey there, baby. Ugh. I don't have time.
They're Orlesian, though. They would take that as like a come on or something. They would take that as a challenge in the game.
Playing hard to get, I see.
That was great. You do have a very good Orlesian accent.
Yeah,
I like
good.
it.
Just do the rest of a podcast with a Gaspard Dupuis.
Oh my god.
Which, by the way, fuck that.
Oh, right?
Every time we talked, I disgusted noised myself. I would just be like, oh, get on with it.
God, why does it take forever to talk? Yeah.
You add an extra syllable to every fucking word. Stop it.
And there's a story with everything. You're like, can we not just talk? I just want an answer to a question, Gaspard. But first, let me tell you about all these other things that happen that have nothing to do with what you're asking me. 10 years later, I will give you your answer. No, fuck that shit. No wonder she hates Olive Orlay. Cass, I get you. This place
now
wastes
you
your
understand
damn
her
time.
pain.
I do. I completely sympathize with Cass now.
Except I don't sympathize because I really love Orlay.
I know.
The game is my shiznit.
I'm like, can we go to another ball?
Right?
I knew that I was going to be excited for the whole ball thing, but never did I imagine that I would want to go back and do it again.
Right.
Like this entire playthrough, once again, the third one in a row is just me going, I can't wait to get to the ball.
I know, I'm like, when are we going to the ball?
Can I do that first?
Can I go dance with Colin again? Like, can we do that? Yeah.
I can't wait for that. That's gonna be great. Okay, so let's have some questions about Cass. Let's talk Cass. What would be your favorite moment with Cass?
Oh.
Single favorite moment with Cass.
Okay. When you say moment with Cass, are you talking about, like, in general, like, any interaction with her, or are you just talking about, like, a one-on-one?
Yeah, any kind of interaction whatsoever. Your favorite time
and
to
I
talk
only
to
have
her.
to choose one.
You only have to choose one.
Can I choose 5?
No. You
Okay,
can
I've
choose
got
one.
one.
3.
I've got one.
Okay, what's yours?
So, I think this is one of the best bugs I ever experienced.
Oh god.
You know that scene with Iron Bull when you're hitting him? With the stick, and it's like his
Yes!
like,
Oh,
exercise.
yes.
So you know how originally it's Cassandra doing it, and like she kind of walks off? Well, as she's walking off, and the Cassandra in the background is hitting a dummy, as the Cassandra who's hitting Iron Bull is hitting Iron Bull. I was like,
Duplicity.
Blood magic.
She has body doubles.
Dorian's been messing around with that time magic again.
That's what it is.
or she just has so much aggression that there's literally 2 of her to get rid of it.
So she can hit all the things that need to be hit. That's what it
Varric
is.
can't escape now.
That's great.
Oh, that's great.
I think my favorite moment with Cass period is actually in the beginning when not the very, very beginning, but after like the scene where you pick up Solas and Varric. Because Cass is so perfectly cast in that scene that I was just like, fuck yeah, you know? When she's talking to them and, you know, she's kind of talking about, especially if you play a mage, Solas kind of talks a bit about how she has magic, but she doesn't have the magic that would allow her to do this. You know, that whole entire conversation, she makes her disgusted noise, she talks down to Varric, she's very knowledgeable, she's
Was that
actually
a
kind
short
of courteous.
But I did love that part though. Just right away, it's just like Varric's, you know, being Varric, and then she just looks at him like, I
I
love
love,
you.
I also love when you first go to the hinterlands and Varric makes that Harding and Hightown joke, which of course I was thinking about, and then like when he finally said it, I was like, oh, he knows, and it was so funny. But then Cassandra's just like, ugh.
Yes.
She's uhing because she wants to read that.
I guess you could say you're Harding in Hightown. What? Never mind. If I had to choose a favorite one, I mean, it's a close second to dancing with, cause that was awesome. I think my favorite scene, period, has to be the entire little mini quest of getting Varric to write the next novel in her favorite series.
That was a great quest.
Because the best part out of that scene in particular was just when it's just like, I guess you don't really need it. No!
No! That's right.
Just the loudest, just most heartbroken, no, I need it.
Her facial animations in that scene never occur anywhere else in the game.
She could be at death's door, covered in lyrium, and she'd still would be less heartbroken than that moment. I thought she was gonna break down and cry and beg for it.
You know what? That scene is when she became my girl. You know? Like, I thought she was cool before that. You know, actually, you know what? Let me take a step back. I went into DAI expecting to hate Cassandra. Like, to not be able to stand her at all. Because I very much disliked her in TE2. Because she was being a jerk to my boy, Varric. So I went into DAI with the expectation that I would not be able to stand Cassandra. And she kind of won me over little bit by little bit, you know? But when we got to that point, she was just kind of like tolerable. I appreciated her presence. By the end of that scene, she was my girl. She was my bestie. Because everything about that entire book thing, getting the book for her, and her reactions to you, and her reactions to Varric, and her reactions afterwards, it was so human, you know?
Right. That's the thing that I love about Cassandra out of all of the characters.
Yeah.
Is that every single character, beautifully written, they all had some sort of thing that took away from their character that they are, like, on the battlefield, and that turned them human. But Cassandra, in particular, just had, I think, the best... it's just the best character development. Like, she goes from this hardened soldier that wants to hit everything in sight to this bumbling fangirl that wants Varric's book. And at that moment, I was just like, oh, I loved you before, but now you're definitely my favorite.
Right, and let's be honest, she kind of became us in that scene. She really did. Think about it.
I never in a million years would have thought that Cass, who at that point was already my favorite character, would literally turn into a fan.
Into the fan base. Yeah. And that I thought that was exceptionally cool because, you know, we do the same thing. If David Gator himself came out today and was like, oh, I think I might write another book and this one's going to be all about Cassandra, we would be the crying fangirls begging for more, just like her.
I'd be like,
you know,
please.
Do you think he was projecting on how he sees his fan base?
That would be super awesome if it was true. I like that
theory. There comes
theory.
the disgusted noise.
We hadn't had one in a while. I needed to get one out.
Right. Maybe it's a nod to the
nod
nicer
to
part
how
of the fandom,
amazing we are. Cough, cough.
Exactly.
Most of us are. Cough, cough.
That would be a really interesting thing to ask him, though. You know what? Maybe it would be great if one of our listeners out there actually had the ability to ask him questions and could ask him that for us and could let us know what the answer is.
Come on,
because I actually
G-Man,
am very curious to know if that was inspired.
Let's talk to the G-Man.
I know, right? That's kind of one of my life goals right now is to talk to the G-Man because I think he is one of the coolest writers in the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by far. He's very, very talented dude. So, okay, so what would be, do you have I don't know, I don't think I have a least favorite. Do you guys have a least favorite interaction with Cassandra?
Let me think.
It's hard.
When she argues with Cullen, because then I can't choose.
Oh, about the lyrium, or which argument are we talking about?
Or was she, yeah, so like, yeah, lyrium for one thing, but like, don't they also, after the Haven thingamajigger, like when they're in the mountains and you're like in the bed, aren't they all, is Cassandra arguing or is it just, or is it just Josie, Liliana, and Cullen? Because I think Cass is there, isn't she?
I think Cass is there, yeah, I think you're right. And then after, the mage quest, there's a bit of an argument. Can we talk? Hold up. This doesn't make me mad, but this made me so freaking happy. I did, on my current playthrough, I did the mage quest. I did the Templar one the way through.
You mean the right quest?
Of course, I chose the Templar way in my first playthrough, because that's just Chachi. So you're in there, and I chose Liberation for the mages. Like, I was like, mage free for all, come live at Skyhold, let's do this shit, right?
The right choice.
Right? And Cassandra was all mad, right? She's like, what are you doing? You know, you're stupid. Like, I mean, obviously she doesn't say that.
Adversely, that's also what makes Cassandra awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly. She was not happy.
She's not like a lot of the other characters where, like, even when she disagrees with what you do, she either just says, I disagree, but whatever, I can understand, or she just lets you know why.
Right? Well, she disagrees with you wholeheartedly, and so you think, you leave and go back to Skyhold thinking, man, Cassandra's so pissed at me, I just brought back all these rebel mages, this is not good, and then you get back over there and Cullen comes stomping the cement up to you, all pissed off about what you did, and what does Cassandra say? Well, maybe it was a good choice on after all.
She's all just like, at the end of the day, I mean, we got people to close the things. I mean,
Exactly, right? She literally went from getting all mad at you and like, I think she was even yelling. She was not happy about you bringing back all these mages, but when Cullen yells at you, she's like, I don't think it was that bad of a choice after all. I was like, how quickly the tides turn, madam. Like, you just didn't want to agree with Cullen. That's what it was. Had he walked up and been like, that was a good idea, you'd have been like, oh!
Well, alright. So, I can't really off the top of my head think of a moment where, even when I was disagreeing with her, that it was my least favorite.
Uh-huh.
But if I did have to choose a least favorite, I would choose the whole thing of bringing her to the ball. Because I'm needy and I need her to say new things, and she never said a new thing throughout that whole
Right. Thing. Yeah, I agree. The fact that she's...
But then she made up with the dance.
But if you don't romance her, then she doesn't make up for the door with the dance. So in my playthrough, I am allowed to be disappointed that... Because I would have loved to have stood there and just snarked with her for a very long time. Wouldn't that have been fun? You know, like if maybe she had just let go?
I would have scoffed at so many people with her.
Right. Oh, look at that man over there. Who does he think he is? And she'd be like, I know a story about him. He is, you know?
I think that's the only situation in which Sarah and Cassandra would be friends.
Right. United in their hatred of the game.
You know what? For once, Sarah, I understand.
I need to bring Sarah and Cassandra with me when I go to the ball in this playthrough.
Yeah, I need to do
I will say, don't ever bring Cole, because it's kind of disappointing. Like,
oh yeah,
because like Solus my first time.
The Inquisitor's really elven funny. Manservant.
Yes, it was so funny because I go to talk to him like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "People think I'm a servant, so they don't really bother me too much." And he's like, "I just like to sit here and listen. It's very interesting."
Okay, his hat.
Oh, right, the helmet that goes through his head. Oh.
Yeah, no, Chachi, that's not a helmet. That is a hat.
Whatever it is, it's like literally like stabbing his face.
I remember like trying to find everybody to talk to them, and I just walk up to Solus, and he has this weird ass hat on. And like, I could not help but giggle.
That's great. I love it.
It was so funny.
Josephine was like, "Your baldness will offend everyone."
Your baldness will offend everyone.
Baldness.
Too shiny. Ugh. I'm going to go read my books now.
Okay, so what's another question?
What? I was going to say, like, a little Cassandra-ish story, not to sidetrack.
Ooh,
but, like,
story time.
So, back before the game released, there was this competition thing you may or may not heard of, called DAI the Show, that, you have very likely never seen, because it was, I don't know, like, I can't even go back and find it, but,
right.
It's disappeared into the internet, like, void, but it was this competition that I was in, also Ability Drain was in, and we did, like, axe throwing and bow and arrows and things, and we were in teams, and of course each team was Dragon Age themed. There was Morgans, Marauders, Dorians, Despots, the Iron Bulls, and Cassandra's Champions, which I was on, and we won, of course. Of course.
The power of Cassandra.
The power of Cassandra.
Before every challenge, you just did this hand signal to everybody.
We actually, before every challenge, got together in a circle and, do the hand thing, like 1, 2, 3, woohoo. But instead we did 1, 2, 3 bullshit. It was fun.
I love it.
No, you should have done 1, 2, 3. Ugh.
They didn't know about the disgusted noise.
We didn't know about the disgusted noise yet. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we didn't know about that till the game came out. That was a little secret that they held back for us.
It was a little gem that they got from
bastards.
I know.
How dare you hide this from me?
Can you imagine that there was life before the disgusted noise? Neither can I.
You mean the dark days?
The dark days? Dark days before the disgusted noise. I love it. It's great.
And there was the word, and the word was ugh.
And didn't you? Okay, so you guys won, and then, but you guys didn't like. What was I gonna ask? I just forgot my sentence right in the middle of talking.
Must have been a lie.
Must have been love, but it's so. Okay. Ugh, I know, right? I can't get through a podcast without trying to sing something.
Okay, what was your question?
I don't know!
If we keep this up, I'm gonna start doing disgusted noises at work, and people are gonna look at me funny.
That would be hilarious. So I'd be like, I'm sorry, sir, can you show me where to... Ugh!
Just over the intercom. Ugh.
I have found that I make disgusted noises more often now. I always did. I was kind of a grunter before. I feel my girl Cass in that one. But I find that I do them far more often now because she's like opened up the gateway to feeling like it's okay to express yourself through disgusted noises.
I have a weird disgusted noise that I've always done.
Okay.
It's more along the lines of ugh.
Ugh. Yeah. That's close enough.
Like no matter what it is, disgusting or just weird, I just like if it calls for it, I just go ugh.
It works. It's the same sentiment. I like it.
Now I have to go ugh.
Now you have to go ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. Yes. Ugh.
Ugh.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about the Cassmans. I have not done the Cassmans. I have been spoiled on it, though, unintentionally. Like, there are some things I purposely let myself get spoiled on.
Sleep with her.
Yeah, well, yeah, I got that. People were more than happy to tell me about that. But I got kind of unintentionally spoiled on the Cassmans a bit, so I guess I'm no longer afraid to find things out about it.
That's very cute.
Until I can play through it myself. So, yeah, so in the Cassmans we find out exactly to what extent she is a true romantic, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I've heard that you have to do like a quest, right? To collect romantic things.
You have to straight up do a shopping spree in order to get all of the perfect romantic things for her.
It is the grocery trip of Thetis.
Yes, it is.
Or grocery run of Thetis, yeah.
What kind of things do you have to get?
Candles.
Yeah, you have to get
poetry.
The most expensive candles you can get.
Like Orlesian candles, Chachi. Orlesian candles.
Oh, okay. So they're like really freaking expensive.
The only thing from Orlais she's willing to look at.
Okay.
Something that you can burn. What does that say about her?
Oh my god, that's great. I want these things from Orlais so I can burn them.
And then you go to this secluded meadow, quote, outside of Skyhold. I have seen no trees outside of Skyhold. So it's a magical meadow that randomly
There's a
appears.
reason that it's secluded.
Magical meadow. Okay, I can dig that.
So super secluded.
I built it especially for her.
Aww.
Grew
There's
the
a reason
trees.
that I have the garden.
There you go. And you you have all these candles, and you read poetry, and then you see her boobs, and
you have a woohoo, yeah.
Full frontal cast boobs.
Wow. And then after that, like, the relationship is good and holy and stuff,
and then
right?
she says something at the end of the romance that was kind of questionable, but whatever.
What do you mean?
She straight up at the end of the romance, like after you're done ba-boing-a-boing, and it's just like, I've only ever loved one man, by the way, and he's dead. And I'm like, oh, thanks for saying that.
Oh yeah, major spoilers, Chachi. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you ever watched Dawn of the Seeker?
No,
Yes.
I have not actually.
You have? Okay,
You
then
should.
you won't appreciate. Oh god, we can't even tell you now.
You won't appreciate
You won't
/ hate
appreciate
what that
this.
shit
We
is.
can't tell you now.
Okay, then I'll watch it when I come back.
It's that scene in particular is more of an appreciation / why.
Yeah, it's a little cameo, but not because
Throwback
he's
Thursday.
dead. Yeah.
They do a flashback of his face, and then she does a disgusted noise.
Okay, so I did hear somebody saying something about how it was, tacky or whatever, that afterwards, after you sleep with Cass, that you find out about her love life previously. And so the person I was talking to about that, though, I don't think they'd seen it, because they were like, it just didn't even make sense why it was mentioned. But that was actually on purpose. That was a reference to Dawn of the Seeker.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to tell you. So there's a character in Dawn of the Seeker, and that's the guy that she slept with.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which was taboo, by the way.
Well, I mean,
because of her being one of the hands of the divine, or
I think, if I remember correctly, the whole being a seeker thing, one of the vows that you have to take, it's not really, don't sleep with anybody, it's more like, don't be bogged down by all that stuff.
I'm not quite,
okay.
I don't know. It may have had to do more something with, like, he was a mage.
Oh yeah, that's it. But nobody cares about that.
I do. I'm digging this.
I know,
this just
like,
got really daytime soap opera.
And she has an evil twin.
No,
that
we're
came
telling
back
the truth,
from
Chachi.
the
Quit
dead and got
laughing.
plastic surgery.
So it doesn't look the same, but it's still her twin. And she has been kidnapped by Stefano DiMaggio, or whatever the fuck his name is. Did you ever watch that?
She's on the
Days of Her
run
Life?
from the mafia.
On the run from the mafia, I love
And
it.
has taken the president as her lover.
Cass would definitely be in a soap opera. We know.
Oh my god.
Can you
I love
imagine? Like, literally, her script, it would just be disgusted noise the entire time.
No dialogue, just every time something is said, she's just in the background, she slowly walks in and just goes, ugh.
Like, imagine, like, Susan Lucci being there, like, Cassandra, I slept with your lover. And then Cassandra's just like, ugh.
And he loves me, not you. There's nothing you
Whatever.
can do about it. Nothing.
Ugh. Just stares her down. Ugh.
Oh my god.
And
This
then
needs
beats
to
her
be
to
a
death
thing
with a book.
so badly.
Oh.
This so needs to be a thing. You know what? I'm going to have to talk to you. I'm part of this radio drama that we're working on, Dragon Age radio drama. I'm going to have to talk to them about this. I feel like at least once can we do like a little funny episode, and it's because
It's like the Inquisition
I would
soap
gladly do
opera.
a skit.
Soap opera Quisition.
soap opera quisition. Oh my god! What?
Soap opposition.
Soap Quisition.
Soap quisition. I love it. And she'll be the main star. And oh my god.
Days of our Inquisition.
Daisy for Inquisition. Fades of her life. Oh my god. Oh god.
Wait, I got one. It's not a soap opera, but it's funny. Little Breach on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think we just have a
Breach
title
on the
for at least
Prairie.
5 different fanfics already.
We're gonna do it. This is great.
Uh,
Oh my god. Eric, if we do this, you're gonna have to be part of it too, because I feel like you could do a really good dramatic guy voice. You know?
Okay.
I know Evan can, but I'm pretty sure you can.
ready. How do you spell
let's
prairie?
go.
Prairie, Brarie.
Okay.
As
there
a
we go.
side note, just so you
Prairie.
know, in case you heard the scratching when I did this, I used to do spelling bees when I was a kid, right? I was one of those kids who did like the
Nerd.
spelling bees.
Nerd.
And I do the thing where I spell the words out in the air in front of me to figure out how to spell
You're
them.
such a nerd.
I was that kid. I know, such a nerd.
I can't even spell.
I can, as long as I can write them out in the air in front of me. So if I'm in a place where that would be inappropriate, like church, I don't know, like a wedding.
So when you're doing your PAX cast, and we see you randomly just do hand signals, we know you're trying to spell something.
Exactly. That would be so great. Speaking of, okay, so this podcast that people are listening to right now, is going to be, or listening to in the future. We're talking to you, future people.
To me?
This is, I'm going to have this pre-scheduled to air while I'm at PAX, but I also feel like I'm going to want to talk about PAX while I'm at PAX, you know? So if
It's
I
okay.
have
I think people can understand that concept though.
yeah, like I'm thinking if I have reliable internet there, because I don't know, at this point we're going to be at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, and it's the first time that, I mean, this is the first ever PAX South, but all the people who are involved in it to date have no experience at all with that convention center, so we don't know what the internet's going to be like there.
I'll tell you this though, like if it's
Yeah.
a thick-walled building, like 99.9% of convention centers are,
Because they're used.
Do not
safety
hold
centers.
much hope.
Assholes.
And look for the press-free Wi-Fi.
Uh-huh.
Like the press
Well, we
area
might-
Wi-Fi, go there.
We might have some sort of Wi-Fi that's set up just for people who are working there, you know?
Yeah, like I
because we
remember
communicate
when,
via text. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember when I was at UGX, they had like employee Wi-Fi.
Exactly. So we might have something like that. But my hotel will also have Wi-Fi. I just don't know how good of Wi-Fi I'm going to have because it's like Travelodge. You know? I'm not staying at the Omni where my expectations should be extremely high. But if I have good internet, I might just see if you guys will, if anybody who's awake at that point, at whatever hour I may decide to do it. Yeah, have like a quick little online Skype thing to talk about it.
Chachi, your midnight is my 5 o'clock, so yeah.
Right. And I do plan on, well, I'm hoping that I'm going to be very busy doing fun things at night.
I will most likely be up.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. So, chat skis a bit,
And then we'll wake up our friend over here to talk with words.
Exactly. We could do that. I like it. Especially like on Sunday.
It'll be 5 in the Scottish morning and be like, hey,
Hey,
you talk to Chachi.
it's Chuck!
And I'll be like, woo!
Especially since we don't know what is going to be at BioWare Base yet. They have not announced anything. It is this week.
How dare they?
And all I know is that...
It's a secret.
Exactly. All I know is that so far, the people that we know from Edmonton that are going are the same ones who are tweeting about making trips to Texas. The community manager who works out of Austin, announced the other day that she's left her job. And what she said on Twitter is that, you know, she still has 1 week left of working at BioWare Austin before she officially quits, but she will not be joining the team at PAX South, which then tells me BioWare Austin's going to be at PAX South, right? They've got this new game that's supposed to launch this year. We don't know because nothing's really been said lately. But Shadow Realms is coming up.
Isn't that the Shadow Realms? Yeah.
Yeah, Shadow Realms. Exactly. But I don't know what relevance, you know, Karen Weeks and Aiden Scanlon and all those people would have to Shadow Realms. So I'm like, and like I said, they've announced nothing. We don't know if they're on panels. We don't know if they're, you know, bringing the Skyhold throne. Like, we don't know.
Well, I will say this, that, that so it took however long it did after Dragon Age 2 for the first DLC to come out. It's been about that long since Dragon Age Inquisition came out. So I would hope they're working on DLC. I bet you they might be working on patches more than DLC right now. Mm-hmm. That's why it might take a little bit longer, but they could be there to announce DLC, or they could just be there to talk about the awesome game they just put out. So it could just be just like, let's just talk about stuff instead of like, we're unveiling this big giant thing.
Exactly. It would be really cool if there was a big giant thing being unveiled or something, you know?
Surprise!
Yeah, I would be kind of over the moon to be on the ground floor when something like that happens. Or they're just there to say, hey, remember we had a game come out a couple months ago. Here, come play it. Come play Damp. What? Oh.
Something fell and the whole house shook.
Oh, okay. Did the
Probably
house
an
fall?
earthquake.
Oh, okay, no biggie.
Oh, fun!
Earthquakes. We've been having those a lot around our area lately. For funsies.
Just for funsies.
Has nothing to do with fracking. Of course not. But anyway, hopefully I'll have some fun things to... Did you just make a disgusted noise?
I
missed that. Oh, I love it. Fracking. Ugh. But hopefully I'll have some cool things from PAX to share with you guys, so... Anyway.
You can enlighten us.
Exactly. All right, so final thoughts. Let's have some final thoughts here about Cass.
Cassandra.
Cassandra is the coolest.
She's my girl.
She's my wife.
She really is. I think I might have said this on Twitter before, months ago. But Cassandra was the first time that I really felt that one of my characters in Dragon Age, or actually, you know, I would say in a BioWare game, period, actually had like a girlfriend, you know? And to me, that kind of stuff's important because that's a real life thing. You know, you're always going to have like your best friends, right? And obviously Varric's been there, but it just hasn't been like a real healthy relationship with a female companion that at no point had any kind of expectations or lead to a relationship. So it felt kind of like a real friendship. I think maybe the closest, in my opinion at least, that I've gotten to having that kind of feeling was maybe with Talizora, but even that wasn't as good as it could have been. So it kind of blew my mind. I was like, I actually have a friend who is like here to be my friend. And we can talk about things and we have experiences together. And it isn't like because we could then have a relationship. It's just like pure friendship. And that actually meant a whole lot to me. It was really, really neat to have a pal, you know? Someone who is experiencing things along with me. So that's my final thoughts on Cassandra. I am very thankful that I was able to have my bestie in this game.
I can't even do a sarcastic, disgusted noise to that.
I know, because it's just, it's beautiful that we had her for that purpose as the female Inquisitor, so.
Yeah, even out of all of those amazing characters, she did feel like an actual person.
What about you, BioFan? You got any parting thoughts for us on Cassandra?
Oh, okay. I think that without Cassandra, like, no shit gets done. Like, at all. Yeah. Like, without her, like, I mean, later on, we kind of learn as the Inquisitor how to do a few things, but, like, without Cassandra, like, no shit would have got done. Like, she is the reason that we are there in the first place.
Yeah,
mainly because she locked us up, but, you know, it all ended up being okay in the end.
In the end, we forgive her for the whole locking us up
and
business.
maybe I liked being locked up.
Ayo!
Judgment-free zone. Ayo! Ayo! That's true. You know what? She really was the catalyst for this game. I like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, Evan.
Was that a Mass Effect joke?
Yes, it was. You can't see it, but I'm sitting over here smirking, drinking my grape juice like, I just said catalyst.
Yes. Final thoughts.
Yes.
Just, wow. I mean, and I could just say this over and over again, but probably, without a doubt, she was my favorite character. I took her everywhere, still do in every playthrough. Everything I do, it's pretty much just, hey, Cassandra, do you notice me?
Notice me.
But, I mean, yeah, to kind of go off of what you said, Chachi, for the first time in really any game, even in a BioWare game, I felt like there was this character that I was interacting with that didn't feel artificial. It didn't feel like, you know, oh, this person's just reading off of the lines for this character that I'm interacting with in a game. It felt like I was in a game and there was just another friend that was playing with me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes being a bit of a but other than that, I can relate to that. Shout out.
Well, your
Tyler.
Friends are butts too. Yeah, exactly. I thought they do the same thing.
I play with assholes all the time, so
that can be taken a variety of ways.
Oh my! Yeah.
Let them take it however they want.
That can
I was waiting for there to be a disgusted noise. Yes, I'm waiting for a disgusted noise, but nobody's doing it.
Nope, because we appreciated that far too much. Well, on that note.
On that note,
again, the Dialogue Wheel is brought to you by Audible.com, where you can go right now, actually here in about 2 minutes or so, and sign up for a free trial courtesy of the Dialogue Wheel. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/the Dialogue Wheel. Get a free audiobook and a free 1-month trial. And then afterwards, you can cancel it or pay for it or, I don't know, like, gift it to your grandma. I bet grandma would like it. Sign her up too. This has been another happy, exciting, magnificent episode of the Dialogue Wheel. Thank you so much for joining us today, BioFan. You know, we love having you on here. You are our boo. You are boo.
Aww, thank you.
That's right.
It's great
you are
to
bae.
be here.
All right, everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good
Night.